All right. So good morning, everybody. Actually, I guess it's noon, so it's good afternoon, or maybe it's just good noon. I don't know. Mitch Ribak here with eXp Realty. Happy to be here and looking forward to chat with you a little bit about what's going on. It's honestly really exciting with the company right now. Things are going crazy. I think by Monday and Tuesday, we had about 250 agents join just in those 2 days. So we're growing like crazy. Our stock, actually, I just looked at it a few minutes ago, was $60.68. For reference point, that was $6.51 in March of this year. So really, really fun watching what's going on. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions as we're chatting, there's a questions box in there. I'll keep an eye on it during the whole time while I'm presenting and answer any questions for you as you ask them. Yeah, then we'll go from there. So anyways, again, thank you for attending today, and I'm looking forward to answering most of your questions about eXp and why we are the fastest growing company ever in real estate. Pretty cool. So one thing I do tell people when they listen to us is keep an open mind. This is not like any other real estate brokerage. It took me a couple of years before I moved my brokerage over, and I'll give you a little quick story on that in a second. But keep an open mind. This is more of an opportunity than I've ever seen in my life. And that was why I was willing to take the leap and give up about $4 million to join. So I'll give you the quick story behind that. Back in 2016, I was running another company besides the real estate brokerage. I had 120 agents. Someone said they just lost my audio. Can everybody else hear me? Oh, there we are. Thank you. And so I had about 120 agents. And I was just trying to figure out what to do. I was working about 100 plus hours a week. It was killing me. I was 55 years old. Yes, I am old, and I actually look it now. I didn't look it till recently, but now I look it. And so I was trying to figure out what to do. So I went to sell my company, and that's what I've always done. I've owned 22 companies in the last 40 years, and I either built them and sold them, or built them and closed them, or built them and lost them. One of those two things. And so anyways, went to sell the company, got a great offer, actually two great offers from Century 21 and Remax. Both offered me $3.5 million. However, when you really go to sell a real estate brokerage, one of the things that they don't tell you until you're negotiating is how you get paid. And you get paid a little bit of money the first year, a little bit of money the second year, but the bulk of the money you get is the third year, and it's based on the retention of the original agents that came over with you. So I sat there in my negotiation. I said, so let me get this straight. So if you guys come in and nobody likes your company and I lose 50% of my agents, I get 50% of the money. They said, yes. I said, no. And I walked away from that. So at that point, I'd been researching eXp for about a year and a half. And I loved the model. There was no question from the minute I found out about it a year and a half earlier that the model was the best business model I've ever seen. But, as a broker with 120 agents, pretty well known in my community, my ego kind of got in the way. I'm a big broker, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, as a broker, and if there's any brokers on this call, you'll be able to relate, you don't really make any money. I made more money selling houses every year than I did running a brokerage. And I didn't sell full time because I had a brokerage. So anyways, I flew up to, I called Jason Gessing, who's the CEO of the company, and I flew up to New York to meet him. And we had a great conversation. And my biggest hang-up was, besides my ego, was my name. Tropical Realty was a big brokerage at the time, really, really well known, multiple offices. And I said, I don't want to give up my brand. He said, well, you don't have to. Just be Tropical Realty Beachside, brokered by eXp Realty. And I really looked at him. I said, why didn't you tell me that a year and a half ago? I would have done this in a year and a half earlier. And by the way, that year and a half delay, I figured it out the other day because I'm a glutton for punishment, cost me about $10 million that I would have in my pocket right now because of that. Not considering the monthly that I would get, but just on the stock alone. So anyway, so I came back. I met with 34 of my agents who did 92% of the business back then. And I said, this is what I'm interested in doing. It's a better opportunity for you guys to create some sort of wealth. And honestly, at 55 years old, I was worried about dying. I was worried about what happens if I died. If I died at that point, what did my family get? My family got absolutely nothing because my agents would just go to another brokerage and move on. Now at this point of my my career, 3.5 years into eXp, not quite 3.5 years, but almost 3.5 years, 3 years, 4 months, I could literally, if I die today, my family's taken care of. And we'll talk a little bit about why that's the case now and how that works, between stock and introducing people to the company. So that's kind of the story. We switched over in June of 2017. We had 40 agents when we made the switch because I let a lot of agents go at that point because they were costing me a lot of money. And today, I checked a little while ago, I have 824 agents in 38 states, growing at about 60 agents a month right now. So we're going to talk about all that and what it is. But like I said at the beginning, that's why I made the switch. I wanted to make sure my agents had a better opportunity. They were not dependent on me, and my family was taken care of if something happens to me. So by joining eXp and giving up almost $4 million, gives me that opportunity. It's given me that opportunity. It has changed my life dramatically. I went from working 100 hours a week to I work now about 40 hours a week. And if I had to guess, I probably don't work that many hours. Okay, here we go. So the founder of the company, the brainchild behind it is Glenn Sanford. Glenn actually made his way in the tech world by being on an AOL chat room back when we had AOL. You guys all remember that, or some of you do. Some might be too young. And he would get into tech conversations with their tech department, and they gave him a job. Well, years later, he gets into real estate, works for Keller Williams, and saw when the market changed, there was a huge issue with the overhead associated with the brokerages. And I can tell you from a standpoint, my overhead was $100,000 a month back then. So he left KW and started eXp Realty. And he was a producer. He was an internet guy like I was, so he learned a lot about the internet stuff. And he brought all that technology background and vision to the company. We started, when I joined, there was 2,800 agents. We were about to hit 36,000 right now. So he's done an amazing job in growing this company and brought on some amazing talent to help us grow the company. A lot of people in the media have been calling us the Netflix or the Amazon of real estate. And, one of the things that's really, interesting about this company, we all remember Blockbuster, right? And Blockbuster was here for a lot of my growing up, raising my kids until Netflix came out. And Netflix went to Blockbuster and said, hey, buy us for $50 million. And now there is one Blockbuster in the world, in Bend, Oregon, I believe it is. And Netflix is the king, right? And Netflix is now worth $50 billion. So bad move on Blockbuster. Same thing with me. I had a chance to buy, I was the first online dating service, and I had a chance to buy Match.com. And I didn't do that. Probably should have, but because I'm not doing that anymore, and now I'm doing real estate. But anyway, so the point is traditional brokerages have changed a lot. And what we've seen, what COVID did for us as an industry, is realize you really don't need an office. I mean, most people weren't going to the office anyways. I had two offices, one 5,000 square feet, one 3,600 square feet with in 2016 with 120 agents, and literally one or two agents would come by a day to drop off a check, pick up a check, make a copy, print out some stuff, and that was about it. So people stopped using brick and mortar quite a while ago. And I think one of the reasons why we're growing so fast right now is the biggest objection we always got was, I really want an office. People have realized now over the last 6-7 months that you don't really need an office. We've never stopped during the COVID. We just continued. We actually increased things because we increased our education, because we knew everybody was stuck at home. So we increased our education. I think we were doing probably 80 hours a week of education during the shutdown. So anyways, so the traditional brokerage is shifting right now. And you're seeing that in a lot of other brokerages realizing they need to downsize instead of increase their office space because nobody uses it anymore. Just nobody. I still have an office, very small, two rooms, one for agents and one for myself, and literally maybe once or twice a month, one or two agents stop in. It's just not, and we have 140 agents here locally that are in my group. So one of the things I like to explain to people on how traditional brokerages work in the franchise model. And we are not a franchise, by the way. People ask me that all the time. We are a brokerage. We're the largest brokerage in the country now. And as I said, the fastest growing brokerage ever. But we are not a franchise. So all your franchises, or most of them at least, are international companies. And the international companies sell regions. And then the regions sell franchises. They're the people that own the companies, right? And the franchises hire team leaders, managers, and recruiters, and they bring on us, the agents, right? That's your typical structure of every real estate franchise. It's also your typical structure of most corporations. You have a vice president of sales, and you have a national sales manager, then you have regional sales managers, and you have local sales managers, and you have salespeople. The same thing, those salespeople get a sale, and everybody up the line gets paid. It's the same thing with us, or with real estate. I mean, with real estate franchises, the agents make sales, so we go out and make sales, we bust our cookies, and then all those people above them get paid. So what Glenn thought of when he was doing this, he said, let's get rid of all that top line expense there, and let's reward the agents for introducing people to the company. So right now, eXp's commitment, excuse me, commitment to us, and it's in our law, our policies, is that 50% of the eXp revenue goes to the agents that help us introduce people to the company. And again, we'll get into a little more detail of that in a minute, but that's kind of how the company works. So some of us introduce people to the company, and we get paid very, very well on that. And I'll explain that again in more detail. But it was interesting what he said. He said, why should we have all these people who are getting paid salaries and franchise fees and all that stuff when we can reward our agents and give them some sort of income that's a residual income and referral fees without having to hire all these people to keep our expenses low and keep a lean, mean fighting machine, which we are. We were been profitable the last 3 quarters. We're going to be profitable again this quarter, and it's one of the things that's been jolting our stock to. Again, it was $60.68 a few minutes ago before I got on the call. We are a cloud campus environment, so we have a thing we call eXp World, which I'll show you in a few seconds. I'm not going to show you live. I'm just going to show you some stills on it. But we don't have desk fees. You can work from anywhere. And what does that mean? I was in Ireland a couple of years ago, and I have a bunch of agents in San Diego. I live in Florida. I was in Ireland, and I was doing meetings in our eXp virtual world, which, by the way, was really weird for me because it's avatars, and I'm not a kid. Like I said, I was 55 when we made the switch. When I saw the avatars, I'm like, what is that? Even my kids are so old, they didn't use avatars, but my grandkids are all doing avatars. But anyways, I was having meetings with my people in San Diego from Ireland. It was great. But more importantly, we've cut all those costs. So think about that. We're in, I don't know, 500 or 600 markets right now. We'd have to have 500 or 600 offices, 500 or 600 copiers, 500 or 600 phone system, 500 or 600 receptionists. All that expense that your typical brokerages have, in franchises, we don't have that. So the less expenses means we give more support and more technology to our agents. Paperless transactions. I mean, everybody's paperless right now. But the cool thing about the support, and I'll talk about that for a second, is our training is all in the world, 50 to 80 hours a week. We also have support. We have a thing called Workplace, which again I'll talk about in a little more detail. But Workplace, all of our 650 employees work there. So the support is something that I never expected, but it's amazing. It's something that I just never expected. It's the reason why I was able to cut down from the hours I was working to 40 hours a week, because I don't get the phone calls anymore. I used to average about 15 calls a day, 20 calls a day. Now I get 5 or 6 a week. I'm always here to help my agents, but again, they don't need me because everything they need is accessible to them. We have a great CRM and lead generation tool, which is called KV Core. Being an internet guy that I am, KV Core is one of the best ones out there. It's got a great forward-facing site for your customers to come in and use the service and to capture leads. You can generate leads on Facebook with this for free. We teach people how to do all that. You can join our Make It Rain program, which is a pay-per-click program, that's great. So you can do that. That does cost money. That's not free, but your website comes with your monthly tech fee, and it's a great site. Really great site, great CRM. Again, I mentioned we do live training, 50 plus hours a week. One of the cool things about our training, which I think is really cool, I still sell houses. I still sell generally between 20 and 30 homes a year. I'd like to cut back a little bit next year, but right now I'm doing about 20. I think I probably have done 20 homes this year so far. And the people that teach, not everybody, of course, we have instructors too, but the people that teach are generally people that are out there selling. We're always out there, teaching our agents how to be successful. And that's one of the beauties of this company is we're all here to help everybody. It doesn't matter who you joined with. We're all here to help you grow your business. I spend about 20 hours a week of my life coaching agents, not always agents that are in my organization, but anybody that wants help, because the reality is if I help you become successful and you with our company, it helps our stock grow. It helps our company be profitable. And we teach everything from, if you're a new agent, we have a phenomenal mentor program and beginner program. If you're a seasoned agent, we have phenomenal video training and social media training. Pretty much everything we do, and all the trainings that we do are all archived. So you're not only going to see, the live trainings, but if you can't make it, it's all archived, so you can watch it at your leisure when you're ready to watch it. This is just some still shots of our eXp world. Again, it was really strange for me, but all of our education, our live education is done in there. We're actually doing our eXp convention in November, first week of November, maybe second week, I forget the dates. And I'm actually part of the eXp Expressions band. We're actually doing live performances in eXp World, which I'm really excited about. I'm getting shown how to do that tomorrow. I have a band with my grandkids, Lola and Henry. Lola's got a powerhouse voice, and Henry's got perfect pitch with playing bass, and I play guitar. So really exciting. So we'll be one of the performers that day, doing about 3 songs each, which is really cool. But this is where all of us work. All of our support staff works in here. So you can go into any of the rooms, accounting or transaction or onboarding, anywhere you need a question is in tech support. One of the cool things about the tech support is if you have a problem with your computer, you just go in there, they'll take over your computer and they'll fix it for you. There's no extra charge for that. Generally, when I would do that before, it would take me a day to get a hold of my tech guy and cost me $100. I've gone in there a few times now, and they'll take over my computer and fix it because I'm so not a tech guy. I'm a marketing guy. And I'll walk out of there going, that was cool. And it's usually done within a few minutes. Awesome stuff. So eXp World is crazy as far as what you get out of it. And again, for old timers like me, it was a little weird to get used to, but now I'm in there all the time. And right now, if you go in there, there's all sorts of Halloween costumes and stuff that you can put on. If you are not with eXp right now and you want to get a guest pass to go in there, reach out to whoever invited you to this event, and they can send you a guest pass to take a walk around the eXp world and check it out. So one of the really cool things about this company, one of my favorite things about the company, is that you can earn equity in the company just for doing what you're doing today. So right now we're all out there selling houses, and when you sell houses, you can earn equity. So I'm going to talk to you about a few ways you can do that. On your first transaction every year, you're going to get a couple $100 in stock. When you cap, and cap is $16,000, which runs about $3 million these days, 2.75 to 3 million, depending on the commission. When you cap, they give you $400 in stock. If you introduce somebody to the company on their first transaction, they're going to give you $400 in stock. You can take 5% of your commission, which I believe everybody has, and we made a lot of very wealthy people in the last 6 months. You can take 5% of your stock and buy the stock at 5% of your commission, I'm sorry, and buy the stock at a 10% discount, which is very cool. And for our top producers, we have what's called an icon agent. An icon agent is someone that does the caps and then does 20 additional transactions. So depending where you live, will determine on what that means. So for me locally here in Brevard County, Florida, that means basically you're going to do about 32 transactions to do that. Some other places, like in San Diego, you're doing 23 transactions to do that. So depending on where you are, you cap it you become an icon agent. When you become an icon agent, you're going to get up to $16,000, so up to your cap, back in stock. Think about that. So especially for some of the agents that joined us a few years ago when the stock was really low. When I joined, the stock was $2.75. That's why I said we've made a lot of people really wealthy over the last 6 months. But this is basically, if you're a producer, you're working for getting 100% commission from day one. Once you cap, of course, you get 100% commission after that for the remainder of your anniversary year. We also have a great program to reward people who introduce people to the company. So for every person you introduce to the company, you're going to earn up to $2,800 per year each year, as long as you are with the company and they're with the company. It's based on sales, so it's a referral fees. And so basically your first level there, you're getting up to you're getting 3.5% commission on anybody that you introduce to the company up to $2,800. Now that money does not come out of the agent side; it comes out of the eXp side of the revenue they generate. Remember, I said earlier that 50% of eXp's revenue goes to pay the agents, and this is where they pay them. Now, the beauty of this model is if you introduce people to the company and you introduce 5 or more people, you're going to earn revenue up to $3,200 from the people that you introduced that they introduce, and so on down the line. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I'll give you a quickie on it. If you introduce 2 people a year to the company over the next 3 years, and those people introduce just 1 person over the next 3 years, that's up to $36,000 a year in referral fees. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to give you a quick story on that too, because I like stories. One of my agents, before we switched in January 2017, came to me and said, kind of sad, kind of upset, and was saying her daughter was going to college and she had no idea how she was going to pay for college. She makes about 60, 70 grand a year selling houses. And at the time, as a broker, my only solution to her was sell more homes. What else could I tell her, right? So when we made the switch in June of 2017, I said, look, here's a great opportunity for you to introduce a few people to the company and help pay for college. So fast forward to September 2018, when her daughter was starting college, she had 6 people that she introduced to the company. But of those 6 people, one of them was a team of 8, I believe, and it might have been 10. But anyways, so now she makes, and was making in September of 2018, between $1,500 and $2,000 a month, and paying for college, or most of college, with those referral fees. How cool is that? I have a guy I met the other day who introduced 1 person to the company, and the person's a capper, so which means he does $16,000 to the company. And he was so excited because that 1 person now that he introduced to the company pays all his eXp fees and all his board dues, all his real estate board dues and MLS dues. So that 1 person makes his entire business now working for free without having to pay eXp fees or board dues. So it's really, really cool way to help you create an income that can change your life. What does an extra $500, $1,000 a month do for you? $2,000, $3,000 or more. There's no limit. You can introduce as many people as you want to the company. So again, if you want to talk about this in a little more detail, I'm glad to get on a call with you and have a conversation about this. But this is an amazing opportunity between this and the stock to build multiple streams of revenue, doing exactly what you do right now. Anyways, we'll talk about that if you want to have more conversation about that. And I show this to people because I love this chart here. This chart kind of gives you an idea of how much money you would have to have in the bank at 5% interest to generate that. So let's go back to the girl I was talking about earlier, and we'll just use 2,000 because that's an even number. So she's generating $2,000 a month. She would have to have $480,000 in the bank after taxes to generate that. Think about that. How many of you have $480,000 in the bank and are getting 5%? And if you're getting 5%, I want to know where you're getting 5% because I would like that myself. So that's the beauty of this. If you're only getting $500 a month from this, right? Or even $300, you have to have $72,000 in the bank at 5% interest. $500 is $120,000. It's just amazing how much money. I never realized that until I found this chart. It's actually a friend of mine owns an insurance company, and I took it off his website. So I just love this chart because it really puts into a value of how much money you'd have to have in the bank to generate that type of residual income month after month. Great stuff. One of my favorite things about the company is our collaboration. Our collaboration is second to none. Again, when I joined, I had no idea. This wasn't even on my radar. But one of the beauties of this company, because we're all in this to help each other, we all do help each other. Surprisingly, when I had my brokerage, I'd have agents all the time come to me and say, "Hey, I want to do this. I want your opinion, but don't share it with anybody. I want to do it myself." And now we help each other. I'll give you an example. I got to reach out. One of the teams from eXp reached out to me a few months ago and said, "Look, I know you're the internet lead conversion guru in the country. Can you do a webinar for me or a Zoom call for me with my team, and how much will you charge me?" So normally, if a broker reaches out to me or a team reaches out to me, that's a $2,500 call. And with eXp, I do these all the time now for people, and I don't charge a penny because, again, it's in my best interest to help all of our agents in our company become better, and we all act like that. We all feel like that. It's something it's a hard culture to understand. I didn't get it when I first joined, and to me, the money's awesome. The referral fees are great. The stock is great. My favorite part of this company is this, by far. The relationships that we build, even as a virtual company, are ridiculous, and it's all over the place. I can reach out to one of my agents, Pete, in San Diego, is one of the top luxury agents in the company. You can reach out to him and see what he does. Another one in San Diego is one of the top video guys in the country, not with the eXp, with the whole country. You can reach out to him, and some of our agents have. I mean, we're all here to help each other. It's awesome stuff. We have what we call a single sign-in platform called eXp Enterprise. Inside there, we have SkySlope, which is our transaction management system. All of our branding and marketing is in there. And the branding and marketing is excellent stuff. It's everything from listing presentations to video, private label video stuff for you, door hangers stuff, business cards, T-shirts, everything you could think about for marketing we have. And it's all top notch. It's all phenomenal. So you can log in and get you there. You can get your signs there. You can log into your website from there. You can check your stock from there and your how much you're making in referral fees and how many people you've introduced to the company from this. So everything is one sign on, and you get it. I know when I had my brokerage, we had like 3 or 4 different things you had to sign into, which was a pain in the butt. Everybody complained about it. No one complains about this. And one thing I will say about the company, and when we switched over with our 40 agents, the 40 agents that switched over because they love me, and they knew I was there, and I was sincere in my heart to help them. Which, for those of you that know me on this call, there's a couple of you that know me. My whole life is about serving people and helping people, and I'm sincere about that. I will do anything to help anybody. It's a detriment to my own time, as my wife tells me, but that's what I live for. I love helping people. So my original 40, 36 is still with me, and I tell people all the time that they join because they love me and they trust me. They stay because eXp is a great platform. Ultimately, if this was not the best deal for their family and the best thing for their family, they all would have left. In fact, I told them that we would reevaluate 6 months after we switched, and if we don't like it, we'll just go back to being Tropical Realty. I could easily just flip a switch and be back as a broker. Nobody wanted to switch back, so that tells you a little bit about it. One thing I'll talk about on here is Workplace. So Workplace is owned by Facebook. It's a private community for corporations. We are the largest user in the world of this with Facebook. And it's one of those things, we have referrals in there. One of our teams in Orlando, they were averaging $20 million a year when they came over. They now average $50 million a year. They 100% contribute that to the collaboration for what them and their agents have learned, and the referrals they get from our referral network. We have 2 referral networks. We have a national one, and then we have state ones. So every state has a referral one. We have a Florida one here in Florida, and we also have an eXp referral. My last 4 deals were referrals from eXp agents within our Workplace group. It's also a place where you can get information. So locally, everybody reaches out to me if they need help. Even a lot of people around the country reach out to me if they need help now. But you can go on to Workplace, go into the right group, post your question that you have, and generally within 10 minutes, you'll get 3 to 5 answers. The response and the support is off the charts. I've never seen anything like this, and I've coached probably 500 different brokerages in North America, US and Canada. Never seen this before. Ultimate support. Even with my staff of 7 that I had from my brokerage when we had it with 120 agents, we cannot offer the support anywhere near here. I tell people locally, if you can't get a hold of me or Pat, my general manager, just go on to Enterprise. And again, I think that's part of the reason why only 5 people a week get a hold of me now for real estate related questions, because they don't need me anymore, which was my goal when I joined. I wanted to make people independent. I want them to build their business, not my business. And that's the beauty of eXp, is you get to build your business. Yes, do you pay us $16,000? So not me, but you pay eXp $16,000 to run your business? Sure. But that's not a lot of money. And we want you to brand yourself. We want you to build your business. And we all help you do that. Awesome stuff. So Workplace is a phenomenal support tool. So let's talk about money, because I know that's what everybody cares about. The startup fee is $149. That includes your 1,000 business cards, a bunch of folders. I don't know how many. It includes your first month of your monthly fees, which we'll talk about in a second. Your KV Core website, all that. So all that comes with the $149 fee, which, by the way, it would cost you a lot more than the $149 to get all that stuff. Your monthly fees are $85, and that breaks down to $50 a month for the tech fee and $35 a month for the university fee, which is our education platform. We all share in that expense. So even though I don't need education, I give education, but we all share in that fee. So that's your only monthly fee, $85 a month. It's really, for what you get, is nothing. It's basically free. And then you have a transaction fee of $40 for errors and omissions, risk management fee, and $25 broker review. So basically your transaction fees are $65 a transaction. Your E&O insurance caps out at $500. So I think that's 12 transactions, right? So 12 transactions, you're not going to be paying the $40 risk management. You're only going to be paying the $25 broker review. There is an additional, after you cap, when you're at 100% commission, there's an additional $250 transaction fee. So your transaction fee when you're 100% will either be $275 or $315. The commission is the same for everybody in the company, with the exception of brand new agents. So for your first 3 transactions, if you're a new agent or you did less than 2 transactions in the last 12 months, you are required to go through our mentor program. There are some exceptions to that, but generally, say if you're a new agent, you're going to go through our mentor program. Our mentor program is great because it's going to take you and have someone handhold you through the entire experience of joining eXp. So you're going to be at a 60-40 split for your first 3 transactions. However, after that, everybody's on an 80-20 split. And one of the things that I like about our transparency of our company, when I had my brokerage, and I tell people this now because I didn't share it when I had my brokerage, but I had multiple commission programs depending on who you were, what my mood was that day. Did my wife yell at me that day? No, I'm kidding about that one, of course. And with eXp, everybody is on the same commission split. I mean, some of our executives still sell homes here and there, and they're on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. I was at 100% obviously when I had my brokerage. I'm on an 80-20% split with a $16,000 cap. So that means after $16,000 paid for the company, I'm at 100% for the remainder of my anniversary year. Right? Now remember, if you sell 20 homes after you cap, you become an icon agent and you'll get most of that up to all that $16,000 cap back. It's not that hard to do. Okay, any questions about the fees? They're really simple. There's nothing complicated about this company. No? Okay, great. I'm going to talk about the growth, and it's funny, I haven't updated my slides here, but a lot has changed since I updated this a couple months ago. I do have one question. Is there a recording available of this webinar? I am going to make this recording available, and anybody that registered on the for the webinar will get a copy of it. So our agent count has just gone crazy. We should be hitting 36,000 agents this week. We are in all 50 states. We are in all of Canada. We are in the UK. We are in Australia. We just opened South Africa this week. We have India, Mexico, Portugal, and France all opening before the end of the year. And then there's 10 more countries slated for next year. So when you look at a business curve, we are right at the pinnacle right now where we are just destined for explosive growth. And where do we stand with other companies? KW has 200,000 agents. We have 36,000 agents. Remax has 160, 170,000 agents. We have 36,000 agents. So our growth over the next 2 years to 3 years, we're expecting literally within the next 18 to 24 months to be well over 100,000 agents. It's a great time to be part of our company. So we're real excited about that. And this is another part of our company. Again, this goes back to culture, is our core values. And I'm only going to hit on a couple of these. Obviously, we talked a little bit about our community and how we help each other and stuff like that. Our sustainability model is phenomenal, which is why, again, if we did not have a sustainable model, NASDAQ would not have us. We would not be on NASDAQ, and we would not be over $60 a share. Collaboration we talked about, transparency. Everything we do. If you go to expcloud.com and scroll down, you will see our Explore Guide and our policies and procedures. We are the only company, as far as I know, that makes that public to anybody. So you can go on there anytime and look at all of our policies and procedures and all of our structures. We don't hide anything. Everything we do is right there. One of my favorite parts of the company is how agile we are, and I'll give you an example of that. I'm part of a group called the Influencer Group, and it's the top 40 agents in the company, and we get together. We were getting together once a quarter in person. Now we do it online, and we kind of discuss what's going on with the company and what needs to be fixed. And there's always stuff to be fixed. We're a growing company. There's always going to be stuff that's going to be fixed. Nobody's ever perfect, even though we strive to be there. But I'll give you the last one we had in person was in January, and we came up with a few things that we thought we could do better, and we agreed on those as a group of 40. And then March 1st, we implemented all those changes company-wide. So to do that is really incredible to a company of our size. Integrity, again, innovation, all these things we're doing right now. We own Verbella, which is the company that built our eXp World platform. We just bought IDX Showcase, which is one of the biggest website IDX platforms in the country. We just bought them. Our goal is to take on Zillow at some point with that program over the next 24 months. That's really fun. I'm very involved with that. It's just exciting. So everything we're doing right now is to grow our agents and help our agents. That's really, really fun. And that's really, to me, I have not had this fun in this business for the past 10 years. I mean, I'll be honest with you, having my brokerage, as much as I love my agents, it was so physically and emotionally draining. It was unhealthy. It was really unhealthy for me. I have a ball every day I wake up right now because what do I get to do? I get to change people's lives. I get to change their lives. I have people thanking me. I can't tell you how many people thank me for joining, 3 years, 4 months ago because their stock has gone crazy. Like I said, we had a lot of people become millionaires over the last few months, and a lot of people have made. I talked to one agent the other day. He sold most of his stock when it was like $10 or $12 a share, and he still has $90,000 in stock. How cool is that? So that's our core values. And we're going to finish on this before I open it up to questions. I always ask people, and this is regardless of what you're doing in your life, when you're making decisions, you have to find out what your why is. I've driven my life, my entire life, my entire business life on my whys. But most of my life, it was a financial why. I wanted a better car. I wanted a better house, things like that. And then my beautiful granddaughter who's sitting here on this picture is Lola. She was born, she's 14 now, so she's probably a couple of years old. I need an updated one because she's actually a rocket chick with me playing our band now. And that's her service dog, Bella. Lola has a very rare disease called Sturge-Weber syndrome. When she was born 14 years ago, it changed our family's lives, as you can imagine. As much as she looks like a perfectly normal kid, Lola's 90% of the right side of Lola's brain is pretty much not there. It's kind of a rock. And so that's the challenge with our disease. So when I was looking at my life and what I was going to do, my main focus was not just my wife if I die, but what happens to Lola. And so if you have kids or grandkids or something like that, this is the reason why you should be thinking about what we're doing here, because we're the only company that you can do what we're doing. There's no other options out there. I checked, believe me. KW offered me $600,000 cash when they heard I was moving to eXp to move to there plus a percentage of their company locally. It wasn't a better model. This is a better model. This is why we did this. But anyways, I wanted to make sure that if something happens to me, and I have the luxury now to know that if something happens to me today, that Lola will be taking care of many years to come. If something does happen right now, knock on wood, which I'm knocking on, she's in the top 1% of her disease. She's 14 in a freshman in high school like any other 14-year-old, except she's the only one that brings a dog with her everywhere in case she has a seizure. and we're very blessed. But we also know that she could have a seizure today that changes everything. So that's my why. And I ask everybody when you're building your business, this is not really to do with eXp. This is really just to do with your business and your life. Once you identify your why, life becomes really, really purposeful and really easy. So for me, it's Lola. Obviously, the rest of my family is important, but I'm very partial to Lola. And for you, it might be just a nicer car or a really nice vacation or to make sure your kids go to college, whatever it may be. Find your why, and you can always grow. Okay, so that's really. Oh, I got more questions for you. Sorry, and then I'll end. So just when you're doing this, when you're thinking about this, think about what's different next year from what you're doing now. For most realtors, I ask this question all the time: what will be different next year or the next 5 years? And most of the time, they say, "Well, I'm just going to be selling houses." And I'm like, "Well, what happens if something happens to you? What happens if that happens? What do you have as a backup?" For myself now, I have referral fees from all the agents that we have in my organization, and I have stock. What do you have? What is your retirement like? How do you get out of this business? There's a reason why we see a lot of realtors that are 100 years old selling houses still, because they usually have to. Uh, I've let a couple of opportunities go by me. The biggest one was Napster, and that's a whole nother story. Um, this is the best opportunity I've ever seen in my life of being self-employed for 40 years. I gave up not only my real estate brokerage, I had 3 other companies. I gave them all up to do this because I knew for my family, for my agents, for my grandkids, this is by far the best thing I could ever do. Anyways, that's the end of my presentation. I'll open it up to any questions that you might have, and for a few minutes, and then we'll get off of this because I'm sure everything that people want to do. I always wait for the first question. I know it's coming. Oh, there we go. Always comes up. How long does it take to switch? Great question. So when we were breaking the company a few years ago, it could take up to 2 to 3 weeks to join. Now, generally, our average is 48 hours. So generally, someone fills out the application within 2 days at the most. Now, with that said, if we have, and I can only speak of locally here, but if we have someone that needs to join, I had someone join the other day, and they literally filled out the application and were going to write an offer that afternoon. We got them switched over in 2 hours. So in special cases, we can get it done really quickly. Any more questions? I love this question. Does eXp supply leads? So we don't. Now we do have a platform that we're building right now. When we take on Zillow, there'll be a lead generating platform. What we do is we teach you how to generate your own leads. We don't want you to be dependent on us. We want you to be dependent on you. That's why, again, why I made the switch to help my agents, because I didn't want, if something happened to me, I didn't want them not having a business. If I died at 55 when they were all dependent on me, they were going to really struggle in their businesses. Now they're all rocking and doing great. So no, we don't supply leads, but we help you, teach you how to generate leads. And I'm glad to, by the way, talk to anybody at any time about how to generate leads and how do you build your business. In fact, if you go on my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Mitch Riback, I have a great class, 2 great classes I'll tell you to look at. Kick It Up a Notch is one of those classes based on my book, So You Have a Real Estate License, Now What? And that webinar is, it's really great webinar if you're new or if you're stuck, right? So we have a lot of agents that get stuck, and so we help them get unstuck. And then the other webinar is how to make $100,000 a year working 4 hours a day. Now the $100,000 is based on my market, but if you're in a different market where the price is a lot higher than $250,000, then you might make a lot more. But right now that class is the webinar is how to make $100,000 working 4 hours a day. And if you follow that system, you will make $100,000 working 4 hours a day. This is not a rocket science business. 99% of the realtors fail because they do not implement. Remember that. If you do not implement the programs out there, you will not be successful. I can teach anybody to be successful. I sold 36 homes my first year, 50 my second year, 80 my third and fourth years, and then started my brokerage. And still, without doing anything right now, I still sell, again, 20 to 30 homes plus a year. Next question. If you retire and do not maintain your license, do you still receive your residual? Yes, so you can retire, but you do have to maintain your license. So you do have to maintain your license to receive your residual because they're referral fees. right? So you're getting referral fees. You can't get referral fees legally if you're not licensed. Now, with that said, over the next 12 months or so, we are opening a referral company division. At that point, you'll be able to put your license into the referral company and not have to be a member of the board, but you'll still have to keep your license active. So there's no way around that. All right, any other questions? Going once, going twice. All right, well, thank you so much for attending. Please reach out to whoever introduced you to this company, to this webinar. And I'm glad to get on with them in a call and you in a call and answer any of your questions at all that you have, and share more, how it will help you personally. This is obviously a general overview, not listening to your personal needs. My goal when I meet with agents is let's find out how this company works for you. Is it for everybody? No. Is it for almost everybody? Absolutely. So thank you again for attending and take care, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.